Now it's live.
Thank you, sir. With the permission of all, we are starting the webinar. And dear all, welcome to the second summit on academia collaboration being organized by Center for Education, Growth and Research. Center for Education, Growth and Research is the leading and only education think tank in India created with 4 innovations. With over 10,000 aligned academicians, corporate and researchers, the CEGR National Council includes 70 vice chancellors from various regions of India and leading industries from all over India. We have taken many initiatives, and in the series of initiatives on 27th June 2019, we have taken the first initiative, new initiative, that is Summit on Academia Collaboration. And in that summit, many top universities, publishers, and academic institutions from all over India participated. That event was organized in India International Center. And you will be surprised to know that 154 MOU was signed between the various academic institutions on that platform. This is the history made by the CEGR. And it was appreciated by all the academic institutions. And I'm thankful to Kumar sir. In that summit, he especially presented and he mentored that idea. So that idea was Kumar sir was one of the key person in that summit. And because of the COVID, we are not able to organize the second series, but we have decided that at least the idea must go on and we must continue in the online mode. Since MOU is not possible in the online mode, but we want to create the awareness so that academic institutions can start collaborating among themselves for sharing of the academic resources, faculty exchange, student exchange, and creating a lot of efficiency with other academic institutions. To some extent, collaborations are not possible among the various regions, but various other regions like academic institutions of Delhi can collaborate with the academic institutions of Jharkhand, Northeast, Bihar, South India. So why can't we collaborate and we can increase the efficiency? So this is the main theme of this summit. And we are grateful that today we have very eminent speakers who will be deliberating on the topic. Today we are fortunate. We have Professor K.K. Agarwal, mentor CEGR and Chairman National Board of Accreditation, who is one of the guiding force behind the CEGR and one of the center of the CEGR. Since starting, he is guiding the CEGR. So we are thankful to you, sir, for always guiding new such type of things.
Thank you.
We are grateful to Dr. Sandeep Marwa, National President CEGR and Chancellor AFT University for accepting our invitation and addressing this event. We are also thankful to Mr. Kumar Vijayendra, mentor CEGR and Chancellor Soviet University and immediate past president of CEGR for taking this initiative and supporting this initiative. We are also grateful to Dr. Harpreet Saluja, Chancellor Sam Global University, Bhopal, which is doing a great job in Bhopal and Madhya Pradesh. We have a very eminent visionary leader, Dr. Amit Gupta, Chancellor JIMS University and Chairman of JIMS Group of Institution. We are thankful to you, sir. We are getting your regular guidance. And we have also Dr. Manish Kothari, founder and MD, ISBR Business School, Bangalore. And then we have Mr. Ashish Sood, Director in Enterprise Business, Simply Learn. So we are grateful to all of the eminent speakers. We look forward to your views, and many of the speakers will be joining in the second technical session. So in second technical session, we will deliberate on various other topics, and we have assigned subtopics to various speakers. So the inaugural session will go from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. and then from 3:30 p.m. onwards, we will have the technical session. So thanks to everyone for joining this summit. And now I request Dr. Sandeep Marwa, National President CEGR and Chancellor AFT University for the welcome address. Over to you, Dr. Sandeep Marwa.
Thank you very much, Roshan. What a pleasure to be here in this webinar this afternoon with all of you for the second education summit by CEGR. Respected Professor K.K. Agarwal ji, Mr. Kanwar Shekhar Vijender ji, Dr. Sanjay Patil ji, Dr. Harpreet Singh Saluja ji, Dr. Amit Gupta ji, Dr. Manish Kothari ji, Mr. Ashish Sood ji, all dear friends and viewers and listeners on this web. Let me start with two very important lines. कि स्वयं विधाता होवे मानव, अंतर में विश्वास जगाओ, चलो न मिटते पद चिन्हों पर, अपने रास्ते आप बनाओ, अपनी आत्म ज्योति पर निर्भर, अपने सूर्य स्वयं बन जाओ. What I'm trying to tell you here is that God has been so kind that he has bestowed upon us all those powers which he possesses himself, the power to generate, power to operate, and power to destroy. It is entirely up to us that which power we would love to use for which purpose. Are we in a position to divide, to support others along with supporting our own self? Are we only mean enough to use all these powers for ourselves? Well, the question arises many times, and it is entirely up to you what you are looking for. I'm also recollecting another beautiful lines from Hindi film कि ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो और प्रेम की गंगा बहाते चलो. Yes, my dear friends, what a pleasure once again to welcome you all to the second Education Summit of CEGR. CEGR is emerging as one of the best and the most effective think tank in the country. In a span of all these years, CEGR has done a commendable job, and the job definitely includes a different kind of workshop, seminars, symposium, interaction programs, talks, and whatnot. And slowly and gradually, CEGR is becoming a favorite organization of the Ministry of Education. Well, the efforts and hard work of members, governing council, and administrative staff of CEGR need to be appreciated. The special efforts of Mr. Ravish Roshan mentioning here. Well, my dear friends, pandemic has disturbed every industry, including education industry. The best part is that all of us have somehow emerged now out of this pandemic situation. We have learned different ways and means to support our own self. We have done now better than before, and things are coming slowly and gradually on the line. Well, and for many years, actually, we've been discussing academia and industry, jobs and academia, industry interface, education according to industry, academia and different kind of industries and jobs and whatnot. Now, time has come when we have to work on the third phase, the third motive of CEGR, because CEGR was created 8 years back to build up the wonderful rapport between the academia and government, academia and industry, and the third phase is academia to academia. Yes, I'm coming down to today's topic, academia collaboration, and I'm sure that you have understood what I'm trying to reach at. The best part is that time has come and we have to reach out to each other, we have to support each other, and we have to see to it that what best can be delivered and what best can be received from each other. There are many segments where we can actually collaborate and join hands, including the environment of the institution, the infrastructure, the syllabus, the faculty, the co-curricular activities, the exchange programs, affiliation, articulations, association, sports, competition, and whatnot. But the fact is that before I hand over the mic to the next person, it's very important to give you today's academia's definition. Today, when I say academia, definitely A stands for being ambitious. We all have to be ambitious to support each other. We have to look into that zest and enthusiasm that if I'm supporting, if I'm helping, if I'm joining hands with someone, then there has to be a pleasure, zest, enthusiasm in that. The C stands for the communication. The minute you have decided that yes, we are in the game, then we must start communication between each other and try to reach to a better position, better stage after that. The A stands for the attitude and aptitude. I know that many people still thinking that I have spent 30 years in education. I have spent probably crores of rupees on research work. Why should I divide my knowledge with you or with anyone else? But then I have learned in my education that once you divide your knowledge, you don't lose anything actually. And I think we have to develop that attitude and aptitude to get into this kind of a business. When I say D, D stands for developing different kind of a programs. What kind of a programs we have to design so that we can actually pursue with the academia collaboration. So we have to devise and divide these programs. And the E stands for exchange. Now this exchange is a very important word here today in academia, that knowledge increases when you exchange. So you help me and I help you. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. So exchange programs has to become on the platform and we will start working together. The M stands for the motivation. Once the leaders have decided, probably you need to motivate your faculty, you need to motivate your students to go and actually look into the other side of the wall. And then for that, we need to create a motivation into our own education systems. And M also stands for time for signing MOUs. And once we start signing MOUs, probably people will come to know that we have joined hands together. I stands for information. Once MOUs are signed, we have to inform to the people, to students, to faculty, to other institutions that this kind of exercise is now in place and we are there to execute these kind of things. And that means the integration. I also stands for integration, and I also stands for the first inning which CEGR has to start in academia collaboration. And last but not the least, A stands for the arrangements to proceed further. And we have to work out on what arrangements we have to proceed further. And I'm sure CEGR is going to be the first one to highlight these kind of objectives. I'm once again so thankful to each and everyone for being here with us, because before I close, I'm recollecting two more lines. कि दिल के दीवारों दर पे क्या देखा, दिल के दीवारों दर पे क्या देखा, बस तेरा नाम ही लिखा देखा, हमने तेरी आंखों में क्या देखा, कभी कातिल कभी खुदा देखा. Yes, I have. For me, all of you are education gods, and I'm looking a lot into all of you. I know that you have to express yourself, you will speak your heart out, and I'm a learner, and I would love to learn today from this webinar. Thank you very much for giving me this patient hearing. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Sandeep Marwan, National President, CEGR, and Chancellor, AFT University. We always look forward to your two-liners from your view from your speech. Now I request Mr. Kumar Shekhar Vijan, National President, Mentor, CEGR, and Chancellor, Soviet University. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ravish. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I am thankful to Professor K.K. Agarwalji, our mentor, our guide, for guiding us and sparing time to join us for discussions, deliberations on very important topics. Today it is second summit of Academia Interface. And as Ravish mentioned, in 2019, when the country was talking about new education policy was not there, and everybody was talking only about education industry academia interface, we decided that we should talk about academia interface also. In the new education policy which came in 2020, there is an emphasis on academia interface indirectly. If we look at, when we talk about academic bank of credits, when we talk about credit transfers, when we talk about multiple entry, multiple exit, when we talk about multidisciplinary research and innovations, so definitely it cannot be limited to individual institutions, they have to come together and join hands. Since last 3 years, we are advocating that the country needs a knowledge grid. A knowledge grid where we can share what knowledge has been created or is being created by different stakeholders at their points. Because it is not possible for a country like India having 1,000 plus universities, 40,000 plus higher education institutions, that in isolation everybody will work, and a duplicacy of the work and effort is happening many times. Even to AICT, I recommended and requested that especially in the areas like in one district or one city, if there are 10 institutions, instead of having a repetitive thing everywhere, like I also have to have a computer lab, you also have to have a computer lab. And instead of that, if they decide and plan that, okay, one institution will develop center of excellence in computers, the second will invest the same amount what has to be invested in multiple labs in one lab and develop a center for electronics excellence center, or in mechanical or in mechatronics, then maybe, and students will go switch over to each other and learn from each other. Then maybe we will have a better infrastructure in the country instead of having everybody having a mediocre infrastructure actually. So this is very important that we come together to pool our resources together, to pool our information, data and knowledge. We always say that data is information. And yesterday only I was talking to one of the policymakers when I said that academia interface has to be there. So he mentioned me, no, nowadays we have platforms where e-content can be developed by everybody and everybody can use. I agree with that. But e-content is very static in nature. It does not give a reason to be dynamic, to learn from each other. It is okay, I learned something and I put it on a internet or a portal, and you can go there and you can listen to me. You cannot debate, you cannot discuss, you cannot deliberate, and we cannot come out of that information or knowledge towards the innovation of further research. I always wonder that when there can be crowdfunding, where there can be crowd computing, why there cannot be crowd research? Why we cannot throw an idea and we say, okay, on this Shobhit University is doing research, or any other university is doing research, and let the ideas come, let the resources be there, let us do it together. And here, instead of doing crowd research, what idea I'm trying to throw here on this platform, generally what happens that I have seen in universities, everybody is more concerned how many patents I have, how many papers are published in my name. They should have my name only. And this limitation that everything should be in my name, I have to get accredited, I have to get this approval, affiliation, or recognition or ranking. It is stopping us from creating a knowledge grid. I was really happy that during the last speech, finance minister, budget speech, the finance minister, she spoke about developing a grid of institutions in Hyderabad. When she mentioned that in Hyderabad, whatever institutions are there, government institution, they will share the facilities of each other. They will work together. We have so much. I always say, and I'm happy to repeat it here also, with 1,000+ universities, and every university must be having at least one good practice. So 1,000+ good practices are there already in educational ecosystem, but they are in isolation. We have to come together, and new education policy has given us a reason to come together even in a better way. Nobody stops us, but we have to look into that. And especially at the global scenario also, when we look, like if I look at Sustainable Development Goal 4 also, it talks about not only quality education or gross enrollment ratio or primary education, it talks about inclusive education also. And inclusive education is not that including the society for me, all sector or all part of the society. Inclusive education for me is when all those knowledge creators, they come together and they share the data, they share information, they share ideas, and we create more innovative things. We develop a better educational environment for the nation. I congratulate Ravish for all his efforts every time. I congratulate the national president, Dr. Sandeep Marwa, for taking the lead. And I'm grateful and thankful to all my colleagues, those who spare time and join us time to time to discuss, deliberate, and debate. Now I will request Manish, seeing you one of the youngest and one of the most enthusiastic one among this panel today, that I will appreciate if you could make some of the points all out of these discussions and deliberations. It will help to develop a paper, a policy note, and share with stakeholders, at least for their knowledge, for their information, and for their consideration in future. So please do that.
Thank you, Kumar Shekhar Vijayendra sir, for your wonderful views. Indeed, to add on some more point, you mentioned about the sharing of best practices. So if you remember, we are coming up with the directory of education on education, and in that we are covering approx 25 best practices selected by the eminent editorial board in that publication. So that could be the start, and after that we are also coming up with the few best practices on the CEGR website to be published. So this is the new initiative by the CEGR.
That is, yes, it is. And now the task with CEGR, what I personally feel is that we have to develop a robust knowledge grid model for the nation, not for only the members, for the nation, where we can say that how universities can collaborate together, how facilities can be shared. The world has become so digital, many things are possible, and we can do it together. Under the guidance of our mentor, Professor K.K. Agarwal ji, I'm looking forward that CEGR will take a lead on that. And we will not only develop a model, we will present a model to the nation that yes, we can have a knowledge grid, we can grow together, we can empower the nation together through education. और संदीप मारवा जी ने 2 लाइन कही थी, उन्हीं को चुरा के दोबारा बोल रहा हूँ. इन्होंने कहा था, ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते रहो, प्रेम की गंगा बहाते रहो. सिर्फ मैं प्रेम को ज्ञान से बदल रहा हूँ.
एक ही बात है.
क्योंकि जहाँ ज्ञान होगा वहाँ प्रेम होगा, तो ज्योत से ज्योत जलाते चलो और ज्ञान की गंगा बहाते चलो. शायद इसीलिए हमें प्रभु ने ये जिम्मेदारी दी है हम सबको कि हम एजुकेशन में आए और देश के एम्पावरमेंट में अपना थोड़ा सा योगदान दे सकें. Thank you, everybody. Looking forward to listen to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So indeed, there is one more thing. What we can do is that we can take the consent of the various universities and institutions who want to collaborate, and we can share a format of that, and we can publish such type of list of such type of institutions on our website, and which type of institution want to collaborate, we can share the link of that university institution among themselves.
That's a wonderful idea.
Pretty good. I think it's a wonderful idea. And
so, for example, Soviet University Meerut, Soviet University Gango, AFT University have given the consent. So if we have got the consent of more than 200 institutions, we can publish such type of name of the institution who want to collaborate, and we can facilitate the connect of that institution.
Lovely. Good idea, Ravish.
And now I request Dr. Manish Kothari, founder and MD, ISBR Business School, to present his view. Over to you, Dr. Manish Kothari, sir.
Thank you, Ravish. And Ravish, hats off to you for giving so many opportunities. You know, as an educationist and as an edupreneur, we have so many ideas and we keep doing so many things that such platforms bring us together and makes it wet whether we are right or we are wrong. When I heard to Kumar Shekhar Vijayendra ji and what he said and what we are doing, when I see that they are aligned and they matches, it gives us more power to make it big and beautiful. So thank you, Ravish, for such opportunity. Professor K.K. Agarwal ji, आप ऐसे ही young रहिए and ऐसे ही ideas लाते रहिए. आप NDA में हो, but आप जब भी बात करते हो, when I listen to you, ऐसे लगता है कि हमारे ideas से और young ideas आप देते हो. Even at this age, when you speak of collaboration, when you speak of growth, when you speak of how we work together, Last time when I listened to you when I was in Delhi, ऐसे लगा जैसे हम तो अभी आप जितने young है ही नहीं. So amazing, sir. Keep guiding us. Thank you for this.
Thank you so much.
Sandeep Marwaji, your lines are super hits. Keep inspiring us on this level, and nice to see a national president who's energetic and capable of driving CGR to the next best level. And that's what we need, leaders like Shekhar ji has already scaled it up to one such great milestone, and scaling it from here will surely be a right challenge which everyone likes to work on. We have all in the past seen about academia and industry collaboration, and we have gone strong through so deep rooted into academia and industry collaboration that we have become veterans in that space. Everything we do, we involve industry and talk about how we work with industry. We have now even started working with government so well that if we look at AICT and us, we are more partners. They have started facilitating on so many things. Now that partnership has also worked. We have also spoken of academia and stakeholder partnership, and that is also giving a meaningful impact. But academia and academia partnership, yes, it is required at this point of time. Amazing topic and amazing space that CEGR is working on. Academia and academia partnership, the first question that I would like to answer is it required? अगर आप present stage में देखो और अगर आप present new education policy में देखो, so the whole gamut of work for an education industry is not merely providing education, but it is far beyond that. And for all this to happen, one single institute can never make it happen. You need partnerships, you need collaborations, not only at local level, not only at state level, not only at national level, but very strongly also at international level. Not only with similar type of institutions, but let me tell you, with varied different type of institutions. When I'm going to talk, I will also give you 3 or 4 examples of a few academia partnerships that we have done and how meaningful that has become. How ISBR could just spread its wings by real academia collaborations. So the first answer is yes, we need it. If we need to be bigger, if we need to be better, if we need to be stronger, academia collaboration is required, and the outcome is not competition, but it is competitive spirit in the right direction and for us to grow together. So academia, to go into this collaborative mode, 3 strong C's are required. 1 is collaboration of efforts. 2, consolidation of resources. Like Marwaji said, I am going to be very strong with my computer center skills. You be very strong with ABC. And 3rd, be very strong with corporate interactions. We all 3 partner to make this bigger and better so that all the stakeholder strongly grows into it. So collaboration, consolidation of resources, and the 3rd C is cooperation for collective growth. We don't pull the legs of each other. In fact, we make our legs stronger and lift each other together. So collaboration, consolidation, and cooperation is what will be required for this strategy to be successful. Ravish, when he said he's going to list down these institutions who wants to collaborate in these different areas, I think amazing. He's giving us that opportunity where we cooperate for collective growth. Now, the next important thing is, when we look at collaboration, at what levels collaboration can happen? And collaboration can happen at 6 different levels if we define stakeholder-wise. At students level, at industry level, at faculty level, at management level, between a founder and a founder, between a director and a director. It can happen at alumni level. And there's a very good example and a case study where at alumni level, we have collaborated with one international body and it is giving amazing results. It can also happen at institution level where 2 institutes together work on a common project and they move forward to see that they give joint results. I was very happy again when our previous speaker, Vijendra ji, said that can't we do collective research together between institutions? We have been doing it. Can't it be scaled up? That's more important. I would like to give some practical examples here. We have our institution in Bangalore, located in Electronic City. We share a common boundary. ISBR and IIITB share a common wall. And we started an incubation center in the field of management. IIITB have a beautiful and a very strong incubation center in the field of technology. And once when we met, we discussed that their incubatees were not developing management models. They were all IT related models. And we were missing technology in our incubation. And Professor Sadgopanji, who's also on our board, told us that, Manish, your faculty need to come and talk to our people here, and our people will come and teach you on technology. And it worked. It was a simple MOU, a 2-page MOU saying this is what we are going to do. But mark my words, this is giving amazing results. All the new incubations have seen the funding coming to them at the right time. All this happened because of very simple collaboration. I'm talking about collaboration of IIITB and ISBR, which happened 3 years ago. When this was happening then, that means there's so many other ways we can work on. The second case study, which has been successful for us, is ISBR with the Harvard Publishing House. Now, what happened here was we have our course structure, curriculum, which are upgraded by universities. Very recently, we spoke to Harvard on how they can vet our curriculum. And when our curriculum was given to them, they took 2 months to get back to us. In these 2 months, when they looked at our curriculum, they spoke about simulation being missing in our curriculum. And the amount of simulation ideas and the services that they spoke about, and to one batch of students, they gave it at no consulting cost, and they wanted to see whether it brings a difference in that batch. And this trimester, we have seen, and when the result was evaluated, of course, we could see that where industry practice could not happen because of COVID, this simulation played a very vital role. This happened again because academia collaboration was happening. A third type of academia collaboration that we have been working on, and that has given a very beautiful result, is IIM Bangalore and ISBR. IIM Bangalore happens to be one of the institute that everyone aspires to work with. And we feel that they close doors to other institutions, which is not true. We went to IIM Bangalore to ask them about the new generation courses, what their faculty can offer, because it was difficult for us to acquire faculty in those fields. They were heads-on open to such collaboration. They designed a collective program with ISBR, and it was offered to our student. And not only that, they invited our student to their campus, interact with their students to understand how difference did it make to them and impact them. Of course, there was a cost involved, but I'm telling you the cost in the right direction. And the outcome was amazing. What we did not expect, the development in those areas have been, in fact, we were guided to the next level of ISBR with this collaboration. I think these are just few collaboration approaches that I would like to tell you. I would like to also place on record a fourth one. There's a strong musical academy in Bangalore, and few of our students wanted to practice music. When NEP came about, we thought management education and hobby should go hand in hand. So we identified 6 different hobby skills for students. Music was one of them. And we approached these other institutions to collaborate with us because this requires a different type of service. And all this was given at early hours in the morning or post evening when the present curriculum, when the present classes of our institution gets over. And we were thrilled, shocked, and amazed to see the responses. 90% of the students joined all these classes, including classical dance, including singing, and including the sports activities. ISBR individually could not do it. The space where we operate, the land cost is humongous. We are in the heart of the city. But when we collaborated, we became big and large. Our students finally got the benefit out of it. Our faculty enjoyed. All this could happen again because of our being open to such collaborative nature. So for everyone present here, these are the 4 case studies that I could give. I think we have other case studies also, which are like student exchange programs, which are known to all of us. So I didn't spell out, but let me tell you, we have 16 student exchange programs signed up with 16 international universities. That could be the best ever thing we are doing to our students. I'm sure all of you are also experiencing this, and such collaborations makes a real difference in the life of our stakeholders. So the only way to start this, I could see that a few of the listeners are the ones who have never started this. So the few of the listeners who have yet to start, let me tell you, how do you start this is take baby steps. First, do a SWOT analysis. List out your strengths. By listing out your strengths, you know that which are the areas that you can offer collaborative support. If you find that there is some, list it out and talk to other institutes about it. If you find there's nothing, no worry. Go to your W. You'll find weaknesses. In weaknesses area, if there's something that you cannot do, then go and ask for margdarshak by these top universities and institutions, by meeting people like Shekhar Vijendraji, by Dr. Sandeep Marwaji. They're open. They will lend support, because education is all about giving, and your weakness will convert into your strength within no time. We did that. We approached IIM. We found it difficult at first level, but within no time, when we met the real person, things happened. Look at opportunities open. Ravish spoke about that he's going to list us at his platform. This is an opportunity that he's presented to us. It only happened when we did our S and W right. Ignore T. Let me tell you, there are no threats to this, because there's so much of our population that needs to be educated in so many domains, and it's a never-ending story. So let's go ahead. Let's work together. I continue with what Sandeep Marwaji said, and Kumar Shekharji said, Jyot se Jyot jalao. We do it in all our convocation days. We do it in all our works. We one torch, one light lights the others, and we spread on. We have only done it in, I think it's time we do it in practice, in real world. So much to speak, Ravish, but then amazing opportunity. I could only do is give real studies and make it happen. The excitement is so much when you say join hands with the institutions. Margdarshak is a great scheme. We should all become Margdarshak to one who needs help, and seek help where we know that we have a W in us, that is our weakness. Thank you everyone for this great opportunity. Let's work together, and unitedly let's grow together.
Thank you, Dr. Manish Kothari, founder and MD, ISBR Business School, for presenting the various models which brought result for the ISBR Business School. Now, I request Dr. Amit Gupta, Chancellor, James University, and a successful edupreneur, a visionary leader, to present his view. Over to you, Dr. Amit Gupta.
Thank you, Ravish, KK Agarwal ji, and all other dear panelists and listeners. It's good to see younger panelists than me, and Munish really spoke with a lot of energy, passion, and shared some of his real life experiences. Congratulations to you, Munish, for the wonderful achievements so far. Well, NEP really talks about collaboration, and I think no better moment than today. We, all institutions, universities, think about this and join hands and actually make it happen. We have Margdarshak scheme, we have so many different schemes on paper, but I really doubt that any scheme has taken off the way all of us want it to be. Definitely, higher education is now positioned at the crossroads of an unprecedented time of mass, not only Indian change, but at the global level. And I feel that the future and success of each institution will depend on the course now taken by us, by all university leaders. Though the world has been transformed for the past 30 years, bringing radical change in telecom, e-business, we talked about technologies, robotics, artificial intelligence. But if you really see, higher education has remained relatively constant. There have been very few changes at the delivery level, but essentially none in the modality and scope and the extent of learning or in leveraging of resources. today, what do we really expect from each other? Kuvarji really mentioned about joint research. I think that's a wonderful idea. We should really look at having some either joint research projects offered by the government or individual research, tapping each other resources and making sure that we come up with some patents, new ideas, which the industry can use. Most of the research today is not really being used by the industry. So I think that was a wonderful idea, Kuvarji, what you mentioned. What Manish mentioned about the incubation center, I'm happy to share that at GIMS, we have done it very successfully, where we've tied up with the Delhi University College. And fortunately, in Delhi, we have a lot of advantages where we have IITs, where we have SRCCs, Stephens, and so many good universities and institutions around, MDI, where there is a lot of scope for collaborations. And I'm happy to share that 3 or 4 institutions have joined hands for organizing some kind of a research conference, seminars, competitions. But what I feel that training is one area which is the easiest to begin with. All of us have some very exceptional faculties with us, and most of us feel that our faculty needs to be trained and groomed, if possible, every semester. What CEGR I suggest can do is take a list of all the exceptional faculties at each university, make a pool of these resources, and see how best we can exchange our resources for training each other's faculty. Student exchange, I'm sure all of us are doing at our levels. All of us have been doing it with international universities as well. But with the new NEP, we can look at academic exchange more aggressively, because we are talking of credit exchange. We're talking of academic credit bank. So all these things also then enable us to do it more freely. Earlier, we had restrictions where one institution based out of Delhi couldn't have given a credit to an institution based out of Bangalore except for the first year transfer. But now the NEP allows us to do it at any point of time during the graduation courses, even the post-graduation courses. Also, what we should really look at is that how do we reduce our duplication in efforts? Suppose GIMS is known for management, Marwaji is known for mass communication. So similarly, we look at our strengths and ensure that we don't incur a lot of efforts in our non-core areas. How we can also use our surplus capacity, infrastructure resources. We also have an online expert, Simply Learn. Now, their organization has tied up with one of the best institutions in the country. But how do we really take their guidance on the digital front? I'm sure most of us are still learning. We have our own learning curve over the last 2 years on the digital front, but we still have to do a lot of things. Even post-pandemic, I'm sure we'll have to use technology much more than we've ever used it in the past. So how do we really benefit from each other's expertise? I think this is one area where we really need to work upon. I think the biggest problem or the attitude change, which is that we are not competitors anymore, we are collaborators. What he also mentioned about Manish, that, they have electronic city complex. In Delhi, in fact, KK Agarwal ji would remember, we had thought of developing an education hub. That proposal was even taken up by the Delhi government, but somehow it didn't come through. But why don't we look at these unique models? Why don't we look at these university leaders and institution leaders to come forward and create a pool of resources? Fortunately, CEGR is taking a lot of initiative. They have done a lot of activities in the past, and I'm sure with the support of all of you, we'll be able to take it to further heights. And I would not like to repeat other points which have been mentioned by the earlier panelists here. But all I can say is that at least now there is a direction given, there is a hope, and especially at the top level where the government is also thinking of radical changes, it is our duty to make sure that it happens at the ground level. Thank you once again, all of you. Thank you, CEGR, for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Amit Gupta, sir, Chancellor, GIMS University, for the wonderful views. And now I request Dr. Harpreet Saluja, Chancellor, SAM Global University, to present his view. Before that, we have, I was going with the report. We have a large number of audience have joined over the various social media, YouTube and Facebook. So thanks to all the participants for joining the event. And now I request Dr. Harpreet Saluja, Chancellor, SAM Global University. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Ravish ji. First of all, my special respect and thanks to Dr. K.K. Agarwal sahab. Sir, I have heard, listened to you many times, and you are such a leader. You show the great path and for the quality accreditation and all that. Thanks, sir, for being our patron. Special thanks to Sri Sandeep Marwa ji for such a beautiful guidance, and you are pioneer of this education industry, and I am really grateful to you for giving us such a delightful speech. Kumar Vijayanji, as usual, you are mentor and guide, and you have given us such a real picture of education industry. Thanks a lot. Our real young, energetic Dr. Manish Kothari ji, such a nice case studies boss. I am also a management scholar, but first time I am listening to such a great case studies and all SWOT analysis. Really great to listen to you. Dr. Amit Gupta ji, as usual, having such a great experience and young and energetic. Boss, nowadays this academic collaboration is need of the hour. Sorry, I have forgot to thank Mr. Ravish Roshan, who has given me such a great opportunity for this platform and including me in the CEGR family. Thanks, Ravish ji, once again. Boss, this academic collaboration has become a need of the hour. Nowadays, day by day, this internalization is growing at a very fast rate, and every education industry, this institution has many limitations also made, since we all are 80% in the private industry, private institutions, we all are self-financed. So we have some of our strength areas, we have some of our limitations also. So I am thankful to CGR for this new initiative. By this academic collaboration, we can share many things. And now, boss, in this international platform, in developed countries, it has become a very much known figure. This type of collaboration with the world-class universities or world-class education institutions has own benefits. Our research scholars come to know very new things, new research topics, and like for student exchange program, it's already going on very great level. Like this, Mr. Manish has shared many case studies. I'll also share one of my case study. We are pioneer in Ayurveda in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh, and we have collaboration with one of the biggest government Ayurvedic college here in Bhopal, where our students share their OPDs also. We have our own OPDs, IPDs, but since in government hospitals, they have more number of OPDs, and they don't have that much of practicing doctors in other facilities. So our students are collaborating with them. They are using our herbal garden. We have one of the biggest herbal garden in Madhya Pradesh. So that Ayurvedic institutions, our other this region, they are coming to our herbal garden, and we are collaborating with each other, producing new medicines. So again, this academic collaboration has its own great effect. But boss, there are some problems also. Like our Shekhar Sahab said, sometimes being a private entrepreneurs, we have some bit hesitant, like those which are developed institutions, they are a bit hesitant in collaborating with the newly institutions. I think we all are agree with that. Then maybe they are fear of that. There may be some why they want to share the resources, why they don't want to share the research what they have done. But in this, I can suggest that for our regulatory bodies like UGC, AICT, they can help us a lot. They can provide us they can create an educational cluster where the same type of institutions or institution of same nature can come under the same umbrella, and they can motivate those institutions to collaborate with each other. We all need some regulatory body who can, make us come into the same umbrella. Otherwise, many times it happens, many people are hesitant to have collaboration with each other, especially in the same city or in the same nature. So this is in my suggestion, we can go for it. Again, my earlier speakers have given such a give big light on this topic. I have a very small person to say more things. So again, I am thankful to all the panelists and especially K.K. Agarwal Sahab, Sandeep Marwaji, Kumar Sahab, and Ravish Roshan ji for giving me this platform. Thanks once again. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Dr. Harpreet Saluja, Chancellor, Sam Global University, for your wonderful use. We can say that Dr. Amit Gupta sir added one more input to our point. Earlier, we was discussing about the sharing of best practices of various academic institutions, then pool of academic institutions. He added one input, that is pool of faculty members from various colleges and university. So this could be a good idea which we can implement, and we can take the profile from the various academic institutions and can publish over the CEGR website, and from there all the academic institutions can take the details to whom they are interested, and we can facilitate in collaborating with them. So thanks to Dr. Amit Gupta sir for adding one more input to us.
Ravishji, 1 second.
Yes,
Dr. Harpreet Saluja ने जो उनका tie-up of that herbal garden and the government institution बताया है, my only suggestion and input to Harpreet ji would be, Doctor, this is an amazing case study in the field of Ayurveda. We all stick to management engineering, but what you are doing is so qualitative. आप इसको एक 4-page case study में convert करोगे ना, wherein you write the background, the ideology, and what is your institute, what is their institute about, what they are contributing, then what you are contributing, and finally how it is benefiting the stakeholders. अगर आप इसको एक केस स्टडी में लिखवाते हो आपके फैकल्टी से या किसी से भी, and circulate it to CEGR, and like Dr. Kuwar ji ने कहा है, this becomes a clean white paper, and it's a brilliant strategy where you're working with a government institution and you are acknowledging that they have some better facilities and better supports. So my suggestion, because I could immediately get a case study here, I thought this should be converted as one white paper. And sir, ये कोई ज़्यादा time नहीं लगेगा. It just will take 24 hours to 48 hours if your faculty sits on it, and this will only benefit the next generation people, sir. That's it, Ravish ji. You can take it forward.
So we want to add some more point that we will share the format of the methodology. That means we will share the format of the sharing of best practices, what we are covering in the education directory, and probably we will be launching that education directory on 18th April 2022. That is the 10th foundation day of CEGR. And on 18th April, we are completing 10 glorious years. So we will have one mega event. Possibly we are planning for a physical event if there will be the government regulation and the government allows for that. So we will have the one mega event in Delhi. And in that, we are launching that education directory. So I request Dr. Harpreet Saluja sir to please send 2-page this best practices. We will definitely like to cover in that. Now I request Professor K.K. Agarwal, mentor CEGR and Chairman National Board of Accreditation. He is the CEGR, and he is the one of the guiding force behind the CEGR. Since starting, I remember from 2013, he associated with CEGR, and in even small, big events, his presence is mandatory. He is guiding in all the small events and big events. He is the youngest professor and probably the first person who became the professor at 27.5 years. He is the founding Vice Chancellor of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University and served for 10 years. Then he became the Chancellor of Lingayas University and Chancellor of K.R. Mangalam University. And now he is the Chairman of National Board of Accreditation and associated with many selection committee and many, apart from that, many expert committee he is heading that. So I request Professor K.K. Agarwal, mentor CEGR, to present his views. Over to you, sir.
सर आप म्यूटेड है सर आप म्यूट है
Any more speaker in this session you have, or
No, sir.
okay?
Only vote of thanks, sir.
Okay. Friends,
I'm sorry, I'm just interrupting, sir. Mr. Ashish Sood is also there, just in case. Ravishji, you have.
Yeah, I was about to say, Ravish, I would like to just take 2 minutes.
No, he's in the technical session, sir.
Okay.
friends, so nice to be in this company. I have interacted with almost all of you quite a few times. Dr. Manish Kothari referred to me as a young person, looks very fine. I remember when I joined the teaching profession in 1968, even all my teachers did not want me to be a teacher. They want that you are an eminent, brilliant engineer, you should go in the field, you can do a lot of good work and so on and so forth. But I think for the first time, I went against the wishes of my teachers at that time and opted to be a teacher. One of my good class fellows commented, "It's good you have chosen teaching as a profession because you are always in the company of youngsters. Because a teacher is always surrounded by people younger than him around him, and that keeps him young." Ravish has now given me a platform at this age where I'm still surrounded by people younger than me, and therefore continue to feel young in your company. Thank you so much for that opportunity to me. Friends, I think we had an earlier summit on academia collaboration last year, and I don't really recollect how many of you were there as speakers, but I recollect 2, 3 at least. I think academia industry collaboration, we have been talking for years. We have achieved some results. I won't say we have achieved nothing, but the results which we have achieved are minimal. We still have not made a headway in industry academia collaboration. And according to me, the one reason is we have still not trusted each other to the extent we should have done. How to generate that trust is $1 million question, and we'll talk about it when we talk about industry academia collaboration. But we thought of this topic of academia collaboration when we held the last summit, and now we are having the second summit on this. We had a few reasons in mind. Number one, if industry is not trusting us, why can't we trust each other at least? I mean, there should be no lack of trust between the academic institutions amongst each other. Second fundamental point, which I have always believed, is collaboration is a nice word, but collaboration does never happen between a strong person and a weak person, between a strong nation and a weak nation, between a strong institution and a weak institution. It's a lip service if you call it a collaboration. It's a charity or whatever you call it. In diplomatic words, they may call it collaboration, but it's really one-way flow of things. Collaboration always happens when both of you are strong. Now the question arises, how can you find equally strong partners? That is where the opportunity has come now. And referring to one of the Manish case study, you are strong in management, but he is strong in music. So now there's an opportunity that two different strong institutions can collaborate. His strength is type X, your strength is type Y, but you are both strong in your areas. And therefore, there's a real collaboration between academic institutions now possible. As a matter of fact, if you try to develop strength in every area, you will become weak in all the areas. So it is good that you maintain a few strengths, because you can never have all the strengths. Maintain a few strengths, excel in those areas, and then collaborate with others who have complementary strengths join hands and deliver the results. It is now very easily feasible after NEP because it's not a desirable feature now, academia collaboration. I think it is a necessity now. Because when you say that an institution or a cluster of institutions should have minimum of 3,000 students. Now, how do you do that? Accept collaboration. There is no other easy solution to this. And therefore, I think now the situation is not only conducive, I will say situation is compulsive for us to collaborate. And if we do it voluntarily, it will be better. Otherwise, one day we'll be forced to do it. I still remember a doctor having said, walk when you can, otherwise I'll force you to walk when you cannot. So let's not reach that situation that we are forced to collaborate. Let us start doing it voluntarily on our own volition, on our own terms, and it has to be done. It's not easy. It has not been easy. I remember when I was Vice Chancellor of IP University, and there were 3 engineering colleges in the same zone of Delhi. And the question was of setting up a VLSI lab. Now, VLSI lab was necessary for engineering institutions, but it's a very costly investment. I also realize, I think Amit will bear me out, I always realize the limitations, financial limitations of private institutions. Because in India, by and large, our private institutions are thriving 100% on student fees. Now, that model cannot go on forever. There is no private university in the world which is ranked high, but which is dependent solely on the students' fees. So you have to have various other ways and means to scale up the model in a different perspective. So I offered these 3 colleges as Vice Chancellor. I said, if the lab costs say 1 crore, university will give you 40 lakhs. You 3 contribute 20 lakhs each and make up 1 lab in one of the institutions. And the experiment did not work out because which college should have physically housed the lab was the bigger question. Because they said only that college will get the credit. AICT will not accept other colleges having collaborating with this. And I think they were right to some extent. They say, sir, as Vice Chancellor, you will accept it. But who will ask AICT to accept it? But AICT has come a long way since then. And things have become much more better, much more possible. And you have to find ways and means of finding out the possibilities. I think day before yesterday, we had a meeting on internationalization in the ministry. And I was giving them a case study of my university. There's a small country in the world called Laopedia. It's a small country. They wanted us in IP University to train 30 of their serving officers for MCA because the country wanted to go in for digitization and automation, and they felt the lack of officers having IT training. I was very happy, but AICT had a rule that MCA admissions can only be done after an admission test. Now, you know, I sent 2 of my officers to Laopedia to conduct the test there. So we conducted the test in Laopedia, admitted 30 students, and then those 30 students came to IP University, stayed there for 3 years and completed their MCA. So I was telling the minister, imagine practically the entire bureaucracy of a country is an alumni of a university. That itself makes a very different scale of the things. So I think we just have to learn to go out of the box. Solutions are there for everything. And I will very strongly recommend that we must now go in for these collaborations, academia collaborations very intensively. I would also request Ravish at this point that he has really done very great hard work for CEGR and brought CEGR at the only thinking national level thinking tank in education. But now we have to sort of go it little differently. Instead of just going discussions and deliberations, let's make small groups of small things and get going. For example, I was just seeing Dr. Harpreet Singh. I think in Bhopal, for example, you have 5-6 good institutions who are very strong supporters of CEGR. Why can't we make a case study of those institutions? Let the students really study courses online or offline. Bhopal is a relatively smaller town. Even if the students learn to spend Monday not in their institution but in another institution, it will be a learning by itself. They will make new friends, new relationships will emerge, many good things will happen. They will get a different test of faculty. Faculties will feel threatened that we must compete with them. And I tell you, I like the idea of Dr. Amit like anything, that pool of faculty. Because I foresee, maybe not in very near future, because this country always takes more time than usual for anything. I think senior teachers will be like consultants in hospitals. You could probably teach in 7 universities and nobody will have to mind it. Why not? Today, you don't have a doctor, practically employee of Apollo, employee of Fortis, employee of Max. They're all consultants. And nobody questions that. MCI does not question this. So a stage will come where you can be a panelist for several institutions, because as somebody said, knowledge, I think Sandeep ji said, knowledge बांटने से बढ़ता है, तो वो बांटना ज्यादा पड़ेगा और बढ़ाना इसीलिए पड़ेगा. और फॉर्चुनेट पार्ट ये है कि जो मैंने आगे भी कई बार कहा है कि लक्ष्मी जी की और सरस्वती जी की अब दोस्ती हो गई है, तो अब ज्ञान बांटेंगे तो पैसा भी बढ़ेगा. तो इसलिए ये एक बहुत अच्छी दोस्ती है जिसका हमें फायदा उठाना चाहिए. And I have always said umpteen number of times on open platforms, money is not a bad thing, provided means to earn are okay. Money is the greatest incentive. Nobody gives you even 10 rupees if you don't deserve it. You have to deserve 20, then only somebody gives 10. So if you deserve 20, that has to be by knowledge. And therefore, this collaboration, which could be, because ultimately, if you want to grow in world rankings, you have to scale up. You look to the first few ranked universities. Look at their students. Some universities 40,000, some universities 50,000. I mean, without scaling up, you can't compete with the best in the world. And one of the methods of scaling is virtual scaling by collaboration. We do some kind of collaboration to go ahead and do that. When we did the last summit, I'm happy that 150 plus MOUs were signed. Some of them are put into practice also, and some best practices are being published, but probably we have to do much more. Best practices of each may be published, but let us now start, Ravish, solid groups of best practices amongst the CEGR member institutions. I think that will be a very great feather in the cap of CEGR, that we have a CEGR cluster 104. Now, this cluster, which is a group of 5 of our members, they are collaborating together. Let's try to establish 5, 7, 10 clusters in the country by CEGR, and that will be a national model which Shekhar Vijendra hinted. And I think CEGR should scale it up now to that, to translate that, because we must encourage healthy competitions. We must encourage collaborations. Dr. Manish also talked about between IIIT Bangalore and his institution. Well, let me make a statement. This worked only because of Manish and Professor Sadhgopan. See, unless the two leaders are willing, nothing works. I know Professor Sadhgopan for 30 years. I've known Manish now for maybe 30 weeks. But the point is, collaborations do not work by emojis alone. Collaborations work when there is a passion in the two leaders that we have to do it at any cost. We must bring to the level that we have to do it at any cost. The new education policy definitely talks about 4 C's, that is collaboration, communication skills, creativity, and complexity. Now, these 4 C's are realities of life. We'll have to live with it. Word is going to become more and more complex, whether we wish it or not. It's not our choice. It will happen. And speed added to complexity is making it still more challengeable. I remember Stephen Hawking was asked, sir, the last decade belonged to chemistry. Do you think the new decade belongs to biology? He says, I'm not sure, but the decade certainly belongs to complexity. And that's a fact of life. We at times do not even understand whether this is a problem of chemistry or physics or bio. That's the real life situation. I give an example which I've given earlier. I was at the convocation of one of the advanced science institutions. And when I handed over the PhD degree to a girl student, I just asked, where are you going? She says, I'm going for postdoctoral work. I said, which university? She named the university. I said, which department? She says, sir, chemical biophysics department. Now, you know, a professor from India cannot imagine that there can be a department of chemical biophysics, because all of our life we have tried to sort out the disputes between chemistry and physics and bio. Ye teacher, ye diwar, ye lab, ye stool, ye chair. I mean, that is what we are doing. I said, why are you going to chemical biophysics department? She says, sir, I want to research on why some children are born deaf. Now, if I want to research on why some children are born deaf, I need guidance in bio because anatomy of human ear must be known to me. I need guidance in physics because how the sound waves work, I must know thoroughly. How do the fluids in the human ear work? I need chemistry. So unless I have guidance from chemistry, physics, and bio, I will not be able to solve this problem. Now, for a moment, just think reverse. That means this problem cannot be solved in this country because we can never have a chemical biophysics department. I mean, at least of now. So therefore, collaboration is not only desirable, is a must for all of us to go ahead and try and solve that. And academia collaboration is easy for us and takes us more closer to the nature possibly. See, we had gone away from the nature. I remember an experiment in one of the universities abroad, which is famously called the White Sox Experiment. It's a very simple thing. They asked the students to come wearing white socks. And when they came to the campus, they said, remove your shoes and walk with socks in the campus of the university. That's it. And after 2 hours or so, they said, now you remove your socks and see under the microscope and tell us which are the seeds which have stuck to your socks, and therefore tell us which are the trees we have in the campus. Now, you can't think of an experiment simpler than this. And they had purchased microscopes of $10 each because nothing very fine is to be seen. Only seeds have to be seen. And now if a student does this every quarter or every semester, he or she is so comfortable with the campus, with the nature. And in our country, we'll teach a lesson on each tree and then have an MCQ entrance test on that and forget about it. And therefore, the real knowledge never remains. When we go to ACB, academic collaboration, then I think some practice of one university, another university will automatically gel. And collective wisdom is always better than sum of individual wisdoms. This fundamental hypothesis will have to be believed and put in practice. Dr. Sandeep Marwaha is here. He is probably #1 media educator in the country, at least. Why can't we see, when we go to see a movie, we have all the entertainment. We pay for it and we are entertained. We have a right to be entertained at that cost. But can there be media appreciation course, 1 credit course, where I can understand this entertainment is coming to be, what is the technology behind, what is the science behind, in simple terms, not in very great, just 1 credit course for 10 hours. And if Sandeep agrees, it can be offered free to all CEGR member countries, member institution, or at a nominal cost which he needs. Why I'm trying to say this is, our students are not curious enough. They study for the examination. And that is where we are killing their instincts. We are killing their creativity, because studying for examination can never make them creative. Studying for studying only will make them creative. And therefore, we have to do some things which don't require a study, not require an examination, but study. I was reading a research paper yesterday only, which says the students prefer now structured Viva OC test much better than a written examination. And structured Viva OC is they get questions written and they just answer them verbally. And they have so much preference, and they feel the pressure is so less by this method. Please go in for collaborations. Don't make it very formal. Make it little informal. I have always said, most of the business deals all over the world have been struck over coffee tables, not in the boardrooms. Boardrooms formalize them later. Similarly, most of the academic decisions are taken in informal discussions. I remember in IP University, once I had 16 hours meeting, 8 hours on Monday, 8 hours on Tuesday, with 35 of my teachers without an agenda. So 16 hours were discussion, how to take the university to the next level. That was the only agenda. And the points which I got, the ideas which I got were superb. So when you go in for academy collaboration, you will have a temptation. Let me suggest to the other university what to do. And that temptation will take us much faster, much forward. And therefore, I believe we must start doing that. We must make small clusters in different areas and give it a practical shape and start implementing. Let there be a value add for CEGR member universities, which no other forum can offer them. And that will take CEGR to a level where a government will be after you to give us their success model, scale up. And then why not? We are, after all, for the country as a whole, and a lot of best things are done. Now, once we have enough of institutions connected, I think it's time for us to start putting it in practice. Different kind of models will emerge. I've given one model that Sandeep can have a 1 credit course on this. Similarly, somebody else can maybe Harpreet ji can have 1 credit course on Ayurveda for everybody, something like that. So because let all these be credit courses. The advantage of NEP is you can give anything and creditize it. Just as in business world, you try to monetize everything. NEP has now allowed you to creditize everything. A student does not study a course, but he plays cricket very well. You can give credits for cricket. So we now have an opportunity to creditize everything. We should make use of it as frequently as we can. And let's have clusters in mind, virtual clusters. There could be several forms of clusters in a town. Assume Corona will go in a few weeks. face to face or something. Clusters in the town, clusters of various subjects, clusters on interdisciplinary subjects, clusters which can arise curiosity. Let students of BA ask questions about science. Let students of BSc ask questions about politics, ask questions about economics, ask questions about law. So that will make them much better, and our education system will certainly go to the next level. But I think if we leave it to the government alone, I'm afraid things may take too long. But if we join hands with the government in our own way, we need not join hands formally, we don't care. We just make our own models, make them succeed, and you don't have to sell the success. You succeed and success will automatically travel everywhere. That's the model which I like to propagate today to all of you seeing here. And I hope the session will be very useful and lead to very good end results for general benefit of the country. And let's do what we can. And this all we can do very easily without any difficulty. This what we have done, structurize everything in education. I still remember I was I think in class 8. My chemistry teacher comes to the class of 100 students as usual. He says, get up. I got up. He says, go out. And you know, when a teacher says go out, it can have any damn meaning. He says, go out, have a round and come back. I went out after 1 minute, I came back. He says, no, spend 7 minutes outside and then come. I came. Then he said, now you tell the class what is the difference between an open environment outside and the closed environment inside. And we spent 1 hour discussing what is a pure air. Today, if a teacher does this, I think her explanation will be called. You didn't cover the syllabus today. I think we have to make some leeway for autonomy to the teacher, autonomy to the student. Then only interdisciplinarity and this freedom will come in within limits. And in CEGR, I think under this banner, we can start. Only positive part is NEP now allows all this to happen. And therefore, it's an enabler. And finally, because today everybody is thinking quoting Vedas is the only method of getting things done. So I thought on academia collaboration, Rig Veda has said, which I read, meet together, speak together, let your minds be of one accord, as the gods of old, being of one mind, accepted their share of the sacrifice. Let your aims be common and your hearts of one accord, and all of you be of one mind, so you may live well together. This is Rig Veda, and we are talking about academia collaboration today. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Agarwal Sahab. Definitely, we are going to follow your suggestions, and it's a very good suggestion. In Bhopal, we are going to make a cluster with the help of Mr. Ravi Roshan, and definitely you're going to see the results. Thanks a lot for your valuable suggestions. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, KK Agrawal sir, for the wonderful news. Every time we get so many takeaways from your speech. And today I got the speech is that why can't we think of a consultant like faculty members in the medical? So this is one of the takeaways from your speech. Another that is the takeaway for my input is the institutional members. Institutional members, yes, definitely we are providing some more, and from this academia summit, we can add some more things facilitating various collaboration opportunities for the member institution, and definitely we will facilitate institutional members in such direction. So this is the 2 takeaways from your speech, and we have got so many, but this is the 2 major takeaways what I got from your speech today. Now we have a very eminent panel. Professor Tankeshir Kumar sir, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana, and before that he was the Vice Chancellor of Guru Jameshwar University of Science and Technology. he also joined. So thanks to you, sir, for joining the event. And we have also Professor Tankeshir Kumar, Vice Chancellor of Al-Karim University from Katihar, Bihar. So welcome to you also, sir. Then we have Mr. Abhay Gupta, founder and CEO, Luxury Connect Business School. He also joined. So welcome to you all, sir. Then we have Dr. S. Sundar Manoharan, Vice Chancellor, Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University, who also joined. Then we have Dr. Ganesh Rao, Director, Pune Business School. So welcome to you all, sir. And now I request Dr. Ramesh Unikrishnan, Senior Vice President, CEGR, and Advisor, Policy and Planning, AICT, to present the concluding remarks and vote of thanks. Now over to Dr. Ramesh Unikrishnan, sir. Thank you. And then we conclude with the technical inaugural session, and we will start the technical session. Over to you, Dr. Ramesh Unikrishnan.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so thank you, Ravish, and a very good evening to all the expert panelists present over here. So first and foremost, let me congratulate Ravish for choosing a very tricky topic today. I'll call it a very tricky topic, that is academia collaboration, because I feel, maybe I'm from my, even though I'm associated with AICT for the last 8+ years, my basic lean is from a government engineering college located in a very, very, very rural place. And as far as this academia collaboration, since maybe for the last 15 years, I'm hearing it, but to practically make it applicable, sir, it's a very, very, very tough thing. Maybe only to some sense, this academia collaboration is happening in the real sense, that is related to the joint campus recruitments. Maybe we can call pooled drives, where all the students of one colleges are brought to one college, and the company people comes there, and maybe equal chances are given to all the students. In addition to that, whenever we see or whenever we explore the possibilities of academia collaboration, somewhere maybe ego comes as a villain. The college which is offering, like, I am willing to extend my services, they'll market in some other way, like, see, all these colleges are depending on me. And the colleges which are seeking the help from other colleges, somehow they are not getting an opportunity to grow beyond. And all these collaborations are happening maybe in the city limits or in the urban limits. And as far as the rural system is concerned, somehow the colleges are getting themselves faded due to the best reason known to them. And that's why this topic was really interesting, and we could hear from all the learned experts on what are the possibilities in which the academia collaborations could happen. So first and foremost, on behalf of the entire CEGR family, let me thank our mentor, Professor KK Agarwal, sir. Sir, beautifully, sir, you have explained what are the possibilities in which the academia collaborations can happen. Just like as Ravish told, the case of senior professors acting as consultants in all the colleges, that is a wonderful experiment that we could initiate. Sir, you know, sir, that AICT INAE, we have a scheme called Distinguished Professorship, where we identify professors and their services could be utilized by the colleges pan India. And again, sir, when it comes to the reality, the last year numbers are very, very pathetic, sir. In the entire country, only 38 sessions were utilized. So that's what, sir, we need to more see why it is not happening. See, we are AICT is funding, they are the best professors available, and everything we are offering free of cost. And in the entire one session, only this much has happened. So I think, sir, little more the positiveness on how the campuses could grow well through positive academia collaborations could be publicized well. And CEGR is, I feel, as sir told, it is a wonderful platform through which this message could be disseminated among all its members as well as the non-member institutions. So thank you so much, Agarwal sir, for sparing your valuable time. And as usual, it was a wonderful fiesta for all of us to hear from you, sir. Now we have with us our past president and the very well-wisher of CEGR, Kuvar Shekhar Vijendra ji. Sir, thank you so much, sir, for sparing your valuable time and your wonderful inputs that we got. And I'm sure, sir, with this inputs, finally, CEGR, I request Ravish to submit a report to AICT, at least to my bureau, which I'm taking care of the policies and academic planning, how this academia collaborations could be made as a policy and could be disseminated to the entire country. We have with us the present president of CEGR, Sandeep Marwaji. Marwaji, thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and also your thought process, how this academia collaborations could be taken forward. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. Now we have with us my good friend Manish Kothari, the founder and managing director of ISBR Business School, Bangalore. Manish ji, nice seeing you, and good inputs we got from you regarding how this process could be taken forward. Thank you for sparing your valuable time. We have with us Dr. Amit Gupta, Chancellor, JIMS University. So thank you so much for your inputs, and we all are so happy to hear you. And we have with us Dr. Sanjay Harpreet Singh Saluja, the Chancellor, SAM Global University. So thank you so much for sparing your valuable time and putting forth your suggestions on how this academia collaborations could happen in the right sense. And last but not the least, we have Dr. Sanjay Patil, Chancellor, DY Patil University. Thank you so much, sir, for your presence over here and your wonderful words. And with this, once again, thanks, Ravish, for choosing this topic. And as I requested, please submit a report to ICT, because we also, we started this academia collaboration in the sense of merger of institutes, where at least the institutes under one trust could be merged into a single unit, and there is no disparity among the students who are pursuing various programs, at least under the same trust. Now let's see how it can be spread to others too, at least in one city or even one cluster. The colleges could make use of the best facility available, because we can't expect every institute will be having the best teacher in a subject. Every institute will be having the best lab, or every institute will be having the best facility of one or the other. So let's see how it can be clubbed together and it could practically happen. So thank you, Ravish, for this wonderful initiative, and thank you, the entire panelists, for sparing your views and spending quality time over here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the wonderful inauguration of this summit.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Krishnan, Senior Vice President, CEGR and Advisor Policy and Planning, AICT, for delivering the vote of thanks and concluding remarks. Now, with the permission of all, we are closing the inaugural session, and we request Dr. Ramesh Krishnan, Advisor, AICT, to take over as the moderator of the technical session, and we will start the technical session. So thanks to everyone for joining the inaugural session, and we are grateful to all the speakers who joined. Especially thanks to KK Agrawal sir for always guiding us. And now over to you, Ramesh Krishnan sir. We have joined Professor Tankeshir Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana. Then we have Professor Atleesh Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Al-Karim University. Mr. Abhay Gupta, Founder and CEO, Luxury Connect Business School. Then we have Dr. S. Sundar Manoran, Vice Chancellor, Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University, Gujarat. Then we have other speakers, Dr. Ganesh Rao, Director, Pune Business School. So I request Dr. Ramesh Krishnan to take over.
Yeah. So thank you, Ravish. And on behalf of the entire CEGR family, let me welcome the second panel on the wonderful topic of academia collaboration. So, sir, a few of my concerns I have already told during my validatory remarks of the first session, because it's a wonderful thought process. We all know, we all are very serious and senior academic professionals who have contributed a lot and still contributing much to the academia. And sir, this academia collaboration is something that we look forward for during the successful implementation of NEP2. But sir, when it comes to the practicality, we all know, sir, like there are a lot of issues that are prevailing. One is the different category of institutions, sir. Maybe government aided, private. Then when it comes to university, again, you all know central, state institutions deemed to be university, private university. In addition to that, we have our IIT, NIT, those systems also. So how practically this academia collaborations could happen? Because when we see, sir, you all know, like the admissions also, when we see the entire country, sir, it's happening only about 48 to 50% of the facilities are getting utilized. And it all depends on the brand what we build, because finally the students are deciding the brand, right? Whether which institution to join, whatever we do, finally students decide which institutions to study, which course to study. So how through a healthy competition, this academia collaborations could be taken forward, so that finally it shouldn't end up like some colleges are getting killed and some colleges only are growing up So that also should not happen, because crores and crores of rupees have been invested in our country for setting up beautiful campuses. But unfortunately, now that rural concept is going away. When we see practically, sir, apart from some aided institutions or some national important institutions located in some rural location, remaining majority of the rural colleges or rurally located colleges, sir, they are not getting admissions. And AICT is also a little bit confused on what to do, because they also have faculty members. They are also equally qualified, like maybe like all of us. But unfortunately, they are held up there. Students are not going. And what about their future? And also the infrastructure that is so much built, and ACT is maybe it is in a metro or it is in an urban or it is in a rural. We'll see classroom should be 66, lab should be 66, library should be 400. So many faculty, so many computers, so many infrastructure. Everything is same, but maybe due to the best reason known, or maybe due to the location or not, some colleges are not coming up. Some have come up very well, some are booming up like anything. So how this academia collaboration, sir, that could ensure justice to the country, and the best resources could be shared without an ego, because we also had some schemes in the past wherein a good institution will be mentoring the small institutions. But somehow, sir, when practically it comes, the whatever we thought like this upliftment will happen, that is not really happening. Because after some time, maybe the small institutions, they are getting dependent on this big institution, and they are not trying their own effort how they can come up to that level. So, sir, through this second session, sir, we would like to know, first of all, the views from all of you on how good this academia collaboration is, and sir, some practical solutions, where some practical outputs where it can be taken forward in the right direction, and without hurting the ego of a small institute or without booming the ego of a big institute. How this can be, sir, qualitatively taken forward. So would like to hear from all of you, sir, and with the permission of all present over here, let me move on to Dr. Tankeshir Kumar, sir, Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana. Sir, we would like to hear from you, sir. What are your views on this academia collaboration, and how, sir, practically it would be taken forward? Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, first of all, I thank CEGR for organizing such a session, play on this particular topic of academia interaction, the collaboration, I will say. You say the academia collaboration. Earlier, I think we have academia industry collaboration things, but you know, this as I was listening to Professor K.K. Agarwal ji, you know, this is a time when we say these collaborations are forced to. These are going to happen and will have to happen, you know, because if you look at over NEP, if we start implementing it, right, then we say that even from the 6th class onward, things change, right? Things change from very initially, but you know, if you see the effect of NEP on the higher education, that will start having an effect on from the 6th class onward, when we say the students will be having the vocational courses and the vocational subjects they will be able to choose. And then if you go to 10th or 11th, then there will not be a difference between, you know, we will not be choosing streams like commerce, science, or medical, non-medical, right? So they have the freedom. When they have the freedom, and then, you know, when such a student come to the colleges, then we see whether our universities or colleges are ready for it. Right? Then what is left? What is the solution? The solution will only be the academia collaborations. Right? Because if I see that if a person is coming out, even for the simple college, I'm not talking about, let's say, the engineering colleges, but you know, simple colleges will be affected because of such a school system. Because in the colleges we have the non-medical, medical, and then, you know, obviously when the students are studying different subjects, then the college may not be having all the subjects which a student demands. That how the students' demand will be met. That could be met only through the academic collaboration. We have now academia collaboration when we talk about The research institutes are we look at the universities, then there is a good amount of collaboration between the two researchers, right? Whether it is foreign countries, research institutes or Indian, or that collaboration is there, right? Through their mentor and whatever, that collaboration is going on, and obviously that has to be increased because the subjects, if I look at, they are merging, and second reason is that we have to see that we all universities or the institutes cannot have all the equipments, right? So we have to make them in a use of all these equipments available here and there, and we accordingly we make the collaboration. But the new thing which I see, that is what I was talking about, is through this NEP. When we say that a person coming from the background of, let's say, the one subject is physics, other is economics, and then is music, then a college may not have all these subjects. So how to go about it? So how to go about is, this is, we have the technology with us. So technology with us now. Because if you look at one subject is to be studied, one subject is to be studied from other college, right? Then we can do it, because then we can have the blended mode of learning. Blended mode of learning will be there. The class may be held at one place. The students of other colleges may be learning from by the online mode, right? So that is the way I see that the academic collaboration has to be developed between the two colleges, even, or the two universities, right? So that is through this, and obviously then we we are also will be having the vocational subjects, right? When we have the vocational subject now, we want to make those vocational with those who have +2 with the vocational subjects, then how we are going to convert them into the degrees, right? That will be a challenge. That will be a challenge. Looking into that again, into challenge, there will be, there will always be a different subject which will not be covered under the one of the college. So that way it again has to go through the academic collaboration, right? So that's what I think Professor Agarwalji was also saying. It is now compulsory. It has to be compulsion for us, right? So we have to do it, right? So we have to learn how to make it academic collaboration for the purpose of teaching, right? Purpose of teaching, that is, earlier we had it for the research, right? We know that we have to improve that, but and for the industry also we have to improve it, but we have it, right? But for the teaching, this is a new thing which will be coming up, and its effect you will see it will be there. And obviously, if we look at our other scheme, that is the credit transfer. Credit transfer is there. The academic bank credit is already there in the NEP, right? So if NEP academic bank credit is there, most of the universities are already registered. But the actual transfer will take maybe after a few years, when the students will opt for it, when the students will be living one place, another place. So this, I think that rules has to be also be made different. That one person can take the credit from other institute at the same time also. At the same time also, that provision I think may not be there in the present ABG system. But why we say that a person can have the bank of credit, and then one can go from here and then other place he can have that credit, then the degree will be from that place or not, right? So if we look at the academic bank credit, it should be that the one person can take like admission maybe like 2 places, right? Where in one place he can study through the blended way, other place he can learn through this way, right? That would also be made possible. And and the same way, I have seen it in some of the places not in India but in Europe, the teachers are also having the appointment of the 2 colleges, 2 nearby colleges, that they are having the appointment letter. That means one person be teaching at one place, the same person may be teaching another place. You know, this provision could also be made. You know, this itself leading to the academic collaboration, right? And also we see, if we look at the expertise in one area, right? That expertise woodland, we may not have a full load in one institution. He may have to travel maybe 20 or 30 kilometers to give a lecture in the evening, right? Evening in the afternoon, right? That could also be there. I have seen it happening. It is happening in the other country. Maybe it's happening here, maybe happening here also, but maybe not in authorized way, but in unauthorized way. But you know, that could be made possible because one you know, teacher may not be completing full load requirement, because when we look at the specialized thing which will be coming up, right? When we say as I'm talking about the vocational courses, they will be there. So that then maybe that some particular topic is to be taught, and that kind of academic collaboration should be there. And also we see that there should be also a concept of, I will say, you call it as, maybe you can also call it a floating faculty. Right? Floating faculty members should also be there. Floating teachers could be there. Right? That means they have the expertise. They may be teaching at, maybe you know, we conduct, you know, GYAN courses. GYAN courses, if you may be knowing, global initiative for academic network. That is there, you know. That is there that is also academic collaboration, where you see one particular topic is being taught by one teacher for, let's say, for 14 hours, 14 days, and he takes on 3-4 lectures every day, right? And finally he conducts the exam. That is what means. That means he is taking around 40 classes, and within the 14 days and completing one course, right? That is what we generally see, right? Why we divide, you know, we take the 5 classes per day, or 4 classes per day, and we spend it for this time period 2, 3 or 4 months. That is one semester. But what we can do is, we can do it other way around, that one teacher teach one subject only for full day, and that is only for 14 days. Right? So then one teacher has to be employed only for 14 days. He can teach at one place, then after 14 days he can go to another college and teach the course. Right? So that is the kind of what I feel is that maybe the floating faculty, but it should not be on the rate of exploitation. But it could be that, you know, you can employ such floating faculty out of the professionals, maybe from the industry, maybe from the from other field, maybe judges, maybe the lawyers, maybe, you know, they can come to the education institution and can teach those courses, which I say that which is definitely is going to be in the new era for the NEP. Right? So that is a new thing which one can think of, that one can have things like we have the ABC, we can have the floating faculties, and maybe we can have the faculty appointed at 2 places. Why not? You know, all these things should have the freedom. You know, when we talk about the flexibility, when we talk about that the students can also have, they can enter and exit any time or something like that, is multiple entry exit is there. You know, that provision should also be made authorized for being used for the betterment of the academic. So that will make more system as itself as a collaborative one, because the one has to be dependent on each other, and that is what I want to talk about. The teaching collaboration. Obviously, the other is academia collaboration could be the research, and that is already going on. But you know, we have to really strengthen it in the sense that we can have more researchers, because if we look at the present status, we are if you look at how many innovations are coming out of the industry, out of the universities. Out of the university, other day you were talking about the Academia 5.0 and industry is the 4.0, right? That was organized. So I consider that because academia has to be in front of the industry, right? So that can happen if we that will happen only if we have now multidisciplinary things happening, right? Multidisciplinary things happening, and as Professor Agarwal was also talking about that they have chemical biophysics department, something like that, but that may not be there, but in the academic collaboration, it has to happen, I know in my university that the other day we have filed a patent where, the physics people was using the nuclear radiation, and nuclear radiation was used on the nutrition biology subject by making a bread. Making a bread, lifespan we can increase to 1 month. 1 month, right? The shelf life could increase to 1 month. So that means, how the nutrition biology itself is a multidisciplinary. We talk about the subject. It is not a normal subject, and we introduce the physics in that, and they could make something out of it. And as he was also saying that these things happen on the coffee tables, and that is what has happened. That is what has happened. They were knowing each other. They were both were doing some job the university at administrative does simultaneously, and they discussed, they found it, and then they implemented it, and it is done, right? So that is why I see that the academic collaboration within the departments also has to go, and within the other academic institutions obviously has to grow, and the provision has to be there for the common common supervisions, and that things should be built in the UGC guidelines, but it is not there, but the universities make them, and there is no bar on it. Definitely, there is no bar on it, but these things has to be built in. That way you can have the common supervisors and so on. That means half of it is to be counted and something like that. So I believe that you have started this academic collaboration. There are certain new things which are going to come due to the NEP, and I believe that some more flexibility has to be provided, especially in terms of the use of the faculty, and use of the academic credit at the same time within the institution and maybe from other institutions. So that is what I see is need to be done. So with these words, I once again thank CEGR, its National President, Dr. Sandeep Rahaji, and especially Ravish Garg. You have been, has been always, contacting us for this or that. So also our today's Ramesh Unikrishnan ji, who is taking this session. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Yeah, thank you, Tankeshir Kumar sir, for your wonderful views on how to implement academia collaboration. It was very nice hearing you. Now let's move on to Professor Sundar Manoharan sir, Vice Chancellor Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University sir. Eagerly awaiting to hear your views on what's the best of academia collaboration and how we could implement it, sir, in the real sense. Over to you, sir.
Unmute kariye, sir.
Sir, could you please unmute, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. Always a pleasure to talk about complementing our strength. And we are extremely happy from PDPU to share our thoughts on how we can complement. And especially this is a very unique and a very important topic that you have introduced at a time when NEP 2020 is being implemented tooth and nail into all the institutions. And the ABC, the Academic Bank of Credits, is another major thing that is going to lead the entire university as you reflected in the previous session about even the admission policies may change, admission pattern may change, and the way the entry and exit of students coming to our portals might change with the academic bank of credits. I think how we complement our facilities and our resources with other universities is going to become a new normal. And in this connection, I felt that there are several central institutes, research institutes, which are nearby, where we can definitely feed on. And it has to start immediately, because the timeline for NEP and academic bank of credits is already on, it's implemented, and therefore we have to have a due diligence about what are the core strengths of each university. And there is no need to start a course which is complemented by another neighboring university or a research institute, because if there is a course, then I don't need to have a course of that kind, so that I can rely on the faculty from the nearby universities. Now from PDU, we have taken a very conscious decision to increase more on the manufacturing skill set, because we have quite a bit on the computer science, we have quite a bit on robotics maybe, but especially when we talk about manufacturing hands-on experience, practically today we don't have much. In fact, most of our engineering students who go through semiconductor industry, in fact, the budget proposed by our finance minister, Nirmala ji, she has clearly outlaid a huge portion for manufacturing in semiconductor skill set. But the question is, how many of our engineering students have been exposed to silicon industry or to silicon microelectronics fabrication? They all know about MOSFET, they all know about HEMT, they all know about the motherboard, they know about making processors, but nobody has a skill set today to talk about processor in its entirety, about not just design, but about manufacturing. How many of our universities can complement the DRDO manufacturing semiconductor facility? They all have to go there and then get trained exclusively for 6-7 odd months before they are even pushed into the manufacturing line. Therefore, PDU has taken a very conscious decision to excel or to create more of manufacturing facility. For that matter, a 45 megawatt solar photovoltaic panel manufacturing facility is being outlined. And then we are also trying to bring a cell to wafer to panel manufacturing facility, which means around 200 panels we can at least make per day, as far as the 45 megawatt time manufacturing line is concerned. Now, why are we doing that? We want to make sure for the future of the green, we are envisaging renewable energy initiatives, which our Honorable Prime Minister talks in of the order of gigawatt. We need a production facility, manufacturing facility, quality control of solar PV, and therefore we specifically the manufacturing facilities, which are industry grade and almost like a small industry scale. We try to do that so that the students can sense the industry spirit right in the university. This is not the only one. We are also experimenting a similar manufacturing line on energy storage as well. And we are also trying to create one on flextronics, flexible solar cells. So we want to make sure in the silicon electronics or in solar photovoltaics, we want to give hands-on experience that of production line. With Maruti Suzuki, we also have a center of excellence in automobile, which has even 3 robotics for welding, which is actually found only in automobile manufacturing sector. So when we bring such truly say that we are filling the gap between the academia and industry, and PDU will be extremely happy to invite anybody and everybody who is in the nearby vicinity or even across the states to come and take hands-on experience. In fact, regarding manufacturing timeline, we even want to throw it open, free training, hands-on training for at least 20 hours or 30 hours for every student who wants to have a manufacturing field. And even in Maruti Suzuki Center for Excellence, we will be very happy to connect with any student who want to come for 16 hours, 20-hour hands-on experience in welding robotics, which will give them a flair for industry experience. So these are some of the examples that I wanted to quote. And at the same time, PDU also doesn't want to synthesize a new facility when the nearby agencies, research institutions have that. We don't want to duplicate because we heavily want to rely on collaboration, joint publication, joint projects, so that the funding agencies will sense that we are together. And then we can complement our resources and our academic brilliance. So I'm just hoping that in the context of NEP, in the context of reorienting our methodology for academic bank of credits, there will be a serious turnaround and there will be more enclave between neighboring universities, and then we will see how we will grow together and complement each other. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Sundar Manoharan sir, for your wonderful speech. And it's really an exciting news for the students and faculty members of, especially for mechanical and other hardcore branches, like the university is offering such a facility to them. I think, sir, we should catch up AICT and your university. We should see how this message could be spread to all the institutions in the country, especially the affiliating institutions which are in the cities tier 2 and tier 3, and who may not be having that much of funds and all to invest on building such facilities. How those students could be taken to your university, maybe for internship or for hands-on training in this area, sir. And thank you so much for throwing your knowledge.
One more thing, sir. PDU was ranked 4th or 5th in ARIA ranking. Under the private college, private university category.
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you that we truly would like to nurture anybody who wants to do startup with funding. We have funds and we will be able to groom anybody to come with no credit for PDU. They can actually have their own affiliation. So I just wanted to add this as one more offer.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for your openness and giving us knowledge on what are your thought process on academia collaboration. Now, with the permission of all, let me move on to our next speaker, Professor Tankeshir Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Al-Karim University, sir. Sir, we are eagerly awaiting to hear from you. What are your views on academia collaboration and how practically it should be taken forward, sir? Over to you, sir. Sir, could you please unmute, sir? Could you please unmute? It's not audible. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Getting me? Are you getting me okay? Thank you. So firstly, I thank Mr. Vani Krishnan. You are a great, very dynamic personality, trying to bridge the gap between a lot of institutions, universities on the government policies and other things. That's a great. I'm really learning the things. Secondly, I would like to congratulate Mr. Ravish to bring such big honkers on one platform, particularly when we talk about academics, and it's really a big excitement for me. After coming back to India, I really came across a number of things, but the way Ravish is doing, it's really great thing. It's really great thing. Another thing that before I start, I will not take much time because topic is big, but definitely I would like to put some highlights on academia. So firstly, my compliments to Dr. Sandeep Marwa, Dr. Agarwal, Dr. Tankeshir, and Dr. Sundar. I have been listening to everybody, and everybody has given something very ancient vision for this particular topic to be really implemented in the country. Our friends, let me shoot out here certain things that academia, what it is exactly. I remember, I was professor at, MIT Sloan School of Management, MIT Boston. I was there for quite some time. And there was a project. There was a project of government of Romania. This I'm talking about, in the first decade of this particular century. I think it is a matter of 2002, yes. I went there to Romania and I met the students, university teachers, bureaucrats and other, the government authorities. There, everything is all right, but nothing was happening really on the surface. On the surface, it was simply scratching the surface academics available there. And probably that was the one reason that Romania, the economy was really not developing to the extent what the government was expecting, even though people were ready to. So this was a big task for me. Now what I did, I talked to the institutions. Earlier, the concept of what you had been talking and everybody has talked about, the business and the academia interface linkages. Yes, definitely that is there. But academia to academia, this is one thing which was the missing link in Romania, where one particular institution, it was not sharing the things with other institutions. And secondly, if other institution is talking about the same particular topic, it was never taken as comparable and competitive in the country. I think you understand what I'm talking about, comparable and competitive. And exactly what we see in India, a lot of institutions, IITs, IIMs, and other central universities, there are many other private universities in the country, they are trying. The things are not really coming comparable and competitive in the academics. And ultimately what it does, the objective, the very objective of what that particular institution or the university has set forth, hardly we are able to achieve. Hardly we are able to achieve. I don't think even 4 to 5% of our Indian big institutions or big universities, they are able to achieve the real objective of their academics. So in Romania, I said that if the objective is to go for the medical education, promote the medical education so that number of doctors which you are hiring from other countries, you will be able to create such doctors from your country. So for that, we constituted a very simple network of the different experts from the different areas. And so they talked about that, yes, there should be a very diverse segment of our curriculum. Now, curriculum earlier, it was, one institution was, teaching something. We found that another institution is also talking about the same thing. And finally, there was not much innovation in the curriculum, and the students were learning not to the extent which actually it was going to be really beneficial to the patients or the society. So this particular thing, I remember that I proposed a very simple thing. What will you do with the, that nano power? What are the equipments you will use in the medical diagnostic system where you require it for a big insurance during the treatment? And apart from that, having a better endurance for the diagnostic system, right? You need such power processors which consumes minimum power. So the students from across the areas, Dr. Tankeshir was talking about, the multidisciplinary, and what our new education policy also NEP says, we have to go to the multidisciplinary programs. So we invited some experts from the engineering side. And so these engineers, along with this medical student, they designed a particular thing, what they call it, the nano power generator. And this particular design was handed over to the manufacturers, which Dr. Sundar was talking about. And so, you see how much important it is, academia to academia, it has given rise to, rather objective to a number of areas. So the very objective was to really diagnose the system for a longer, duration, a diagnostic system which can sustain for longer duration with the power systems available in the processes and in the entire, that particular technology. So this was designed there and handed over to the manufacturers, crash tested, and it has become really a huge manufacturing base in Romania, which has given rise to, big bang to the government, good employment opportunities, a very good diagnostic system. Patients are getting happy, and in academics, two or number of more, institutions across the streams, they are able to sit down together and discuss about such things. Can it happen in India? Yes, my answer is yes. Similar thing I did, I worked out with the University of Southern Illinois. Similar thing I talked about when, of course, he's no more. Steve Jobs, when he was not something very highly qualified, but he was called at convocation in Stanford. Then I discussed very closely about these things. And there also, the similar vision came out that academia to academia, the thought process should come now on the surface, and two institutions merging together for one particular topic. They should start working now, they should start teaching now, set the objective, because the moment you start working on one objective, it will give rise to number of other areas, effectively like employment opportunities, business world impacting, economy impacting, and at the same time, apart from that, number of entrepreneurs will come up. So ultimately, the objective should be that it is not simply, two or three institutions merging together, teaching the students, giving them again the same thing, the certificates. No. We have to think about that what are it is just like, that atomic reaction, chain reaction. Similar thing when I visited NASA on a number of times, I was training the scientists there. There also I discussed about, particularly on these small power systems, particularly used in the satellites and other things. So people appreciated this, but this has to, be taught, generated, practiced. Because the moment you set one particular object, the number of ancillary objects will come there. So, and there are a number of institutions in the country. You see, they are looking forward towards you that, I should also get this particular opportunity so that, I can train our students accordingly in at least 1 or 2 or 3 particular things so that people get a better employment. People become entrepreneurial, and that ultimately impact the economy, its GDP growth. So I think we have to think about in the very cumulative way. I quoted one example of medical science, medical equipment. It can happen in any, whether it is in energy segment, whether you talk about in the manufacturing itself, manufacturing. I have got, for the Boeing company, I worked out on this manufacturing, particularly on advanced supply chain management. And I remember how really I worked out along with the students of University of Columbia and number of other experts, students coming from the different other universities, along with our MIT Boston students. So this is how we have to design. We don't have to, I think Ramesh was talking about ego. No, there is nothing like ego. We have to wipe out these things. We have to make India stronger. And for that, objectively, we have to work out that if you set one prime objective, it will give, birth to a number of other ancillary, sub-objectives, which will create huge employment opportunity, and it will impact the business world, right? But again, we have to start it with that deep sense of what exactly, we should do for our country, we should do for our society. And so accordingly, we have to involve our students in that particular system of teaching, learning, research, and applications. I shall close, time is less. I would have given a number of other cases, but I have made, in fact, when President Reagan, he was the President of America, he called me that, look, Professor, the situation of our country, economy is very bad. How really, we can fight the competition of what we call the Japanese. I was particularly involved in that particular, as a research scholar in the team, along with Peter Drucker, under his chairmanship. And so the policy somebody was talking about, the silicon waste, yes. My policy was first crash tested in small huts at Silicon Valley on a number of other processes, number of other simple, circuitries. And the business, which they used to get in 2 years, they got in 7 months. That was passed in the Senate and became the corporate policy of the United States of America. But again, objective was 2-3 universities will sit down together with their faculty, their students, and they will work out, right? That what they want and what the country needs, what the society needs. And so setting this structure, because they understand the structure of the society, so setting this structure into the academics, they did, wow. So what do you see in the United States today? It was the foundation given by President Reagan. So friends, let's start this journey of excellence. We can do it in our country. Our country has tremendous amount of, that talents. And these talents are sometimes getting wasted. We cannot underestimate that.
Sir, please conclude, sir.
I'm concluding. You are given very less time, but still I'm concluding, Davis. Yes, I'm concluding now. So our, in India, we can equally do it. What our Prime Minister says that local to global. Yes, we can do it. We can talk about trillions capacity, India. Yes, we can do it. But again, for that, we have to nurture and design. Somewhere we have to start this academia to academia business into the academics, truly from the core of the heart, designing such things and foreseeing what exactly is going to happen next, 3 years, 4 years in the world. So that will become the object. And so the ancillary object, automatically it comes about. So thank you, Ravish. Thank you very much, Uni. And to everybody, I want to thank Dr. Agrawal, Dr. Marwa, and my heart thanks to everybody. So we shall meet again. And hopefully, I'm ready to give a lot of things to the Indian universities and our students in very diverse areas. I believe that, yes, entertainment industry is one of them. Probably we have not taken it very seriously so far. So let's come out and work out together. Wish you all the best, Ravish. Hopefully we'll do it. Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh.
Yeah, thank you, Professor Akhilesh ji. It was too good hearing you and much about your international exposure. And also, really, there is too much of takeaway from your speech. And let's now move on to Mr. Ashish Sood, the director of Simply Learn. Sir, welcome to this Academia Collaboration Summit.
Sir, I think there is some technical issue. He's not on the screen. So we can move on to another speaker, sir.
Okay, then with the permission of all present over here, let me welcome Mr. Abhay Gupta, founder and CEO, Luxury Connect Business School. Sir, welcome to this summit on Academia Collaboration. We would love to hear from you and few suggestions or steps from you on how we can practically make it possible. Sir.
Thank you, Rameshji. Thank you, Ravish.
Yes,
thank you. This August panel here. I feel humbled and intimidated at the same time because I don't come with such huge academic background, but I come with very practical learnings from the industry. I moved into the academics 10 years back, but I come with a 30 years exposure to the retail, fashion, and luxury industry. So I would like to table a few practical suggestions, in my opinion, where this complementing each other kind of a strategy could be highly remunerative and could be highly successful. Today, when we are living in a world of VUCA, I believe that the world for specializations has truly arrived. No longer can one be a generalist and survive. In order to become the best in the trade, one needs to specialize and one needs to go really deep into one particular category. One cannot have a lot of width, but one needs to go into depth. And when you go into depth, you become a specialist. So in a scenario where in the industry, non-competing brands, non-competing sectors are coming together and forming collaboration, the entire scenario globally is towards a collaborative approach rather than a competitive approach. And it's only then that the best man survives, and people who are, let's say, mediocre are unable to sort of survive through or push through the current competitive scenario. So when the world is moving towards a collaborative approach, why is it that the academic businesses are not moving towards a collaborative approach? I believe that the future in academics is also going to boil down to an area of specialization, where we have specializations in various industrial sectoral requirements. And the minute we have industries and academicians partnering to create value for the industry, that is when cross-trading between academics will also start happening, and collaboration between academia and academia will start taking place. For example, we have very specialized fashion institutes, and we have very specialized beauty institutes. We have very specialized travel institutes. They become specialized because they focus only on one area. Likewise, I believe academic institution will need to focus on one particular area, even as Dr. Agarwal had mentioned that even in terms of science, there is a cross-trade between the streams. But the cross-trade of streams can happen only because there are specialists available. A nuclear scientist will have to collaborate with a physicist only because they have gross specializations. Hence, likewise, in my opinion, it's the academic institutions where this collaborations will begin. So today, when industry is working towards a healthy, collaborative, and not competitive approach, I believe that the academic industry will need to follow suit as well. No one can be a master of all. One has to be a master of one particular trade, and then only one can have a very collaborative approach. So that's my humble suggestion, where the industry academia partnership should lead into academia partnership. And I believe Ravish and CEGR have started this attempt a few years back. And as we can see, that's the second summit of this topic. So a few years back, we had a similar dialogue. Several MOUs were signed between various colleges. I do not know what is the seriousness behind signing those MOUs, but they remain mostly on paper. So I would urge the other academic fellow partners to sort of take this approach more seriously and try to add value to each other. That would be my humble suggestion, Ramesh, and I would like to leave it at that, please. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Abhay, sir. It was very nice hearing to you. And as you told, sir, this is a very, very sensitive topic, academia collaboration, and how to take it forward, and how the students and the teachers, they could be benefited in a healthy manner. That is still, I feel, sir, because I am with AICT for the last 8 years, earlier in the capacity of a director, and I was a regional officer for 9 states. So I know, sir, in the ground level, what are the unhealthy competitions that's happening in the ground level. I'm telling, we always discuss on the beautiful things, but in the ground level, when we sit in the regional level, we know what are the fights happening between the colleges, even grabbing the admissions, taking the good teachers for just 1,500 rupees salary hike. This is happening in the ground level. So how this academia could be implemented in the right sense, that I feel, sir, it's a on the implementation part is a $1 million question. Maybe everyone will be interested to associate with an IIT or with an NIT or with any top university of the national level. But when it comes to the ground level, how best we could, sir? I think only such summits could take it forward. So thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Ashish sir is here. Ashish Sood sir has come now. I think Ravish, could you please unmute? Shall I call Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, sir?
No, we have the Dr. Ganesh Rao, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So with the permission of...
Ravi Kumar Jain, sir, will be not joining because of some incident.
Okay.
There is one accident in his relative, so he will be not joining.
Okay, Ravish, sorry. Yeah. So with the permission of all, let me invite Dr. Ganesh Rao, Director, Pune Business School. Sir, welcome to this summit on academia collaboration. With your vast experience, we would like to know how this could be taken forward practically. Welcome to you, sir.
Yes. Very good afternoon, everybody. I hope I'm very audible. Yeah, fine. Very good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Ganesh Rao, Director of Pune Business School. I've been holding this position of a director for the past almost 15 years, and 20 years I've been into industry. So this subject of academia collaboration is wonderful. It may appear theoretical. It may appear from the upper, when we talk from the management, it's quite easy to implement. But it has got a lot of practicalities which we need to consider. Both academicians, both academia, both are our colleges, both have got professors on either side. They're all very simple people. So let us say it's professor to professor. Now it seems simple. Now we can collaborate. Now then you add one more element. He has a management. Now there comes a slight hesitation. Now I am a professor. There's another professor on the other side. He's my friend. We can together collaborate. But I have a management. So then an amount of hesitation comes. Managements and managements also talk to each other. Managements and managements are also good friends. Now, where is the hesitation? The hesitation is all in the mind. So let us open up. Okay. Now we need to open up. Let us start with simpler non-compete areas. Okay. Let us exclude admissions. Let us also exclude placements. Though that is happening, we exclude both of them. Okay. Because these depend upon your academic performance. So we leave that. Now coming to academics. Now, there are multiple leagues of B schools. For simplicity's sake, I'll say there's one is IIM league and the other is non-IIM league, like all of us. Now, even in fact, in our cases, they could be some conveniently made leagues I do not want to get into the complexity of this, but I'll say that some of are more privileged and some are less privileged. Okay, so the good faculties in the standalone institutes, the good faculties in the larger institutions as well. Now, the two inputs that the academicians can give. One is take the person who is least, who is very friendly, who is very popular, and let him first proceed. So take a very senior professor who is acceptable, and he can be of two purposes. One is he can be a good mentor and a guide. And the second is he can conduct certain faculty development programs, because this kind of an academic collaboration cannot go forever. Someday, I would say there should be a handholding of say about 2 or 3 years. And after 2-3 years, that institution should not ordinarily require a collaboration at say the highest level. It may require at a usual level, at a normal level. Now, for a collaboration to happen, there should be a need. There should be a need, and there should be an incentive. Everybody is a good person in this world, but things don't happen that way. There should be a need, and there should be an incentive. Okay, the need is for the smaller business school, and the incentives for the larger business school. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. And if we understand each other's needs, things become so easy. We have to break our ideologies. We are all simple professors. The students on both colleges are also very simpler. Start this experiment. May not be at academics. I'm further simplifying. Start it at the cultural level. Start it at the sports level. You see, once you start this at the sports level, at the students level, things become easier. Then start at the younger faculty level. Things become still easier. Let this sustain for about 6 months. Cultural, sports. And you will see this will slowly seep into academics. You'll have senior professors going and coming. And all of a sudden, you will have the spirit of nation building. The nation building has to be the ultimate spirit which has to come in. That all of us, we are doing for the youth. We all have our competitions. We all have an admission competition, or placement competition. Keep them aside. Keep them aside. And I think this is a step-by-step, a simple guide. It may take 3 years. Okay. Whenever there is a cluster, this kind of an operation, the first step is trust building. Trust is very important, because people on either side are very simple. Both sides are very simple, but they're very doubtful of each other. My God, this guy has something in his mind. My God, this guy has something in his mind. Actually, nobody has anything in his mind. So a simple trust building exercise, start at sports, cultural, ascend to faculty development programs, have a senior professor, get into a mentorship with standalone institutions, and this will bring good bonding, good exchange of thoughts, ideas. See, what happens is when a larger university professor goes to a smaller place, the faculty are motivated. They would like to know what's happening. Motivation is all they required. They do not read instructions. They don't read instructions because they're all faculty. They have that much of common sense. Only thing, that exposure will help them get motivated. Well, with my experience, I felt, as a person at a grassroots level, traveling the country for various lectures, I thought, and understanding the psychology of a professor. I'm a second generation, director. My father was also a director. So I'm born in a campus. So that is why I'm privileged to understand the pulse right from the peon to the principal, not from now, but for 55 years. I thank you for the opportunity given. And this was my humble suggestion. It would seem very simple, but it's a very practical first few steps. And you see that things will blossom eventually. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Rao. It was really wonderful hearing to you. As you told, sir, it's a very wonderful and very simple step. Maybe just keeping the admissions, placements and all aside, let's all connect maybe culturally or for any co-curricular activities so that that ice is being broken and there is no, when people are meeting for positive things. Okay, so there is no factor of competition that is binding between them when we collaborate. So thank you so much. It's really wonderful hearing all the learned experts. And I request Ravish, kindly do send ACT a suggestion of all these things, all the takeaways from all the learned experts, because maybe we are also on to how to, because, by 2035, we need to implement the NEP. And one of the major factor of that is the academia collaboration still. And as I told, still we don't know from where to start. Professor Ganesh gave a wonderful start. This can be the starting point. So let's see, I request you just submit a nutshell of today's discussion to ICT, and let's see how best we could take it forward. So thank you to all the experts for sparing your valuable times. And let me invite Ravish, Director CEGR, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Ravish.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh Krishnan, Senior Vice President, CEGR and Advisor, Policy and Planning, AICT. Definitely, sir, if you remember, 2014, we have started collaborating with AICT, and since 2014, we have a very strong association with the AICT. And AICT is now, CEGR and AICT is one of the key collaborator, and we are sending many recommendations, and few of the recommendation was implemented by AICT. So definitely we will come up with the report on the academia collaboration and how academic institutions can collaborate. What are the takeaways? So few of the takeaways of this session is that we are sharing the best practices of academic institutions, and few of the best practices will be published in the CEGR Education Directive, which we are launching on 18th April on the 10th Foundation Day of CEGR. Second, what we are doing is that we are creating the list of the interested students, that is a pool of the academic institutions on CEGR website, from where they can get the list of the institutions who want to collaborate and who are interested. We can facilitate such type of institution. Third is that we are creating a pool of faculty members who can be the consultant in various academic institutions. So this is the three takeaways, and many of the other takeaways we will be compiling, and we will sending the report to the various stakeholders. And we are grateful to all the key speakers, starting with Dr. Harpreet Saluja, Chancellor Sam Global University, for his wonderful views during the inaugural session and staying for the entire 2.5 hours, more than 2.5 hours. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, and we look forward to such type of interaction in the coming time also. We are grateful to Professor Atleesh Kumar, Vice Chancellor, Al-Karim University. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and for addressing the audience. Then we have Professor Tankeshir Kumar, Vice Chancellor of Central University of Haryana. I especially invited him to present the views of the Central University and how Central University can collaborate with the academic institutions of various locations. And we have a very eminent academician, Dr. S. Sundar Manoharan, Vice Chancellor, Pandit Deen Dayal Petroleum University from Gujarat. His university is one of the best university for the petroleum energy. So thank you, sir. Thanks for your wonderful views. Then we have another speaker, Mr. Abhay Gupta, founder and CEO, Luxury Connect Business School, associated with CEGR since long time. And we are grateful to you, sir, for always supporting CEGR. Then we have Professor Ganesh Rao, an eminent academician from Maharashtra. He is the director of Pune Business School. So we are thankful to you, sir, also for accepting our invitation and addressing this summit. We are compiling this report, and we will be sending very soon to the various stakeholders. And CEGR is regularly organizing summit, conferences, webinars, and publishing many publications. Few of the publications is said to be the first time publication by CEGR. And 3rd February, we are again organizing the 3rd School Education Summit. Then 10th February, we are organizing an interactive session on implementation of NEP by Mr. Suresh Prabhu, Honorable Member of Parliament, and Sherpa to G20. So he will be remain there on the interactive session, and many more events we are regularly organizing. So please visit www.cegr.in for more details. And last but not least, thanks to all the participants who have joined from various social media and we have a great number of participants from various social media. One of the event was attended by more than 27,000 persons from all over India. So thanks to all the participants from all over India. And last but not least, thanks to Dr. Ramesh Krishnan, Senior Vice President, CEGR and Advisor, AICT, for always supporting. I remember from 8 years from AICT, you are always supporting CEGR since long time. So grateful to you, sir, and look forward to your support in coming time. Thanks to everyone, and we are going up with the next event very soon, and we will announce all the things. Thanks to everyone.